Murder at Lithia Park. The peace and tranquility of a sleepy college town is shattered by the shocking murder of grad student Ruby Lewinski. November 2011. Ruby Lewinski is on her way home after work. Her path takes her through Lithia Park at about 11:40 at night. The park is mostly deserted at this time, except for maybe one or two midnight stragglers. She passes by a lone figure, quickening her pace. The man follows her, chasing her through the night. She falls, allowing him to catch up. While she is lying prone on the cold ground that night, he pulls a gun to her head and squeezes the trigger. For the small college town of Ashland, Oregon, home to Southern Oregon University, a public school so small it could be considered private, it is the cold-hearted brutality of her execution and those of the two murders later on that week that put them on the map. Carter Frasier and Rachel Andrews, close friends of Ruby Lewinski, were found dead 3 days later. Rachel is in an alley in the downtown area, and Carter at a bus stop further south, right along the main road. At first, local authorities had no cause to suspect that the murders were related other than the timing. It was only after interviewing friends and family that it was revealed that the threesome was close.
I remember hearing the news. First that Ruby had been killed, and then Carter, and then Rachel, and being just stunned to lose all three of them at the same time. Then we thought, poor Jason.
Jason Banks, also a student at the university, was Ruby's long-time boyfriend.
With Jason and Ruby, it was just one of those things. It was hard to imagine Jason with anybody else. The four of them were nearly inseparable. Rachel and Ruby had been friends for longer than either of the girls had been with the boys, so it just made sense for all of them to spend a lot of time together.
Things, however, weren't always so perfect.
Jason always worried me. Just the way he talked to Ruby, the way he treated her. I could never understand why she stayed with him.
The Lewinski family were well off financially. Ruby's father was a well-known architect in the Southern Oregon, Northern California area and had built up a good reputation and plenty of good fortune.
Jason was very interested in Ruby's finances. He mooched off her. He always needed her money. If I could find one fault in the relationship, it was that she always had to pay his way, especially at the bar.
In November of 2011, the month of the murders, suspicious account activity was spotted on Ruby's bank account. While Ruby was no stranger to spending money, especially on her boyfriend's behalf, a spike in activity the week before her death raised a few eyebrows upon its investigation. Just over $500 a day was spent in the 2 days before her death alone. Whether she was noted or not before she died will probably never be known at this point. Further digging revealed a rabbit hole of deceit, fake bank accounts, fake names, all eventually leading back to the same persons, the person believed to have committed the murders.
Well, we found out that the money coming out of Ruby's account, it was being moved into private hands. That meant that somebody was going through a lot of effort to cover up their tracks.
Why would someone go through all of that effort?
Ruby had an affair. She cheated on me with Carter. She thought she was so sneaky too. But I found out, and she had no idea that I knew. I wasn't gonna let her get away with it. She was with me, not Carter. Carter. He was so whipped, I practically did that guy a favor. I hired a guy. I used Ruby's money, and I hired a guy to kill them both. You know, for a while I thought about making Ruby's death look more like an accident. But if it's a murder, and I'm the sole recipient of her will, which I am, I'm entitled to more money. Small price to pay for a bigger payout.
What about Rachel?
What about Rachel? Collateral damage. I didn't want her killed, but something must have went wrong. She got in the way somehow. I don't know. I didn't talk to the guy after I hired him. The less I knew, the more I could deny, you know? Not like any of that matters now. cat's out of the bag.
Open